Middle age.
This is American Guilt, the first single off of Unknown Mortal Orchestra's latest, Sex and Food. But this isn't what they always sound like. The band's sound is definitely unique, and their 4 albums offer a great deal of sonic variety. We've been taken through decades of music's past, through dozens of subgenres, and plenty of strange sounds thanks to Ruben Nielsen, the band's creator. When we listen to UMO's music, or any music for that matter, we associate our own meanings with lyrics. Ruben doesn't want you to think this music is about his life, he's just trying to improve your day with what he creates. But the lyrics and moods of these tracks are entirely dependent on Ruben's decisions, from where he decides to record the music to the art he chooses for the album cover, but most notably by Ruben's personal trials. He invites new, and sometimes strange, experiences into his life, hoping to capture those feelings in his music, whether that's becoming a father, indulging in rampant drug use, or inviting a second partner into his marriage. Ruben is willing to put himself in some emotionally terrifying situations for the sake of his art.
Well, I want to make good music. I want to make good art. I don't want to... And if the art destroyed my life, then I'm kind of have this attitude. I don't know why. Maybe because I come from fine art background, that it's like I'm willing to suffer for it.
Let's go back a bit. Growing up, Ruben wanted to be an illustrator for comic books. He even attended New Zealand's most prestigious art school in pursuit of it. But music would overtake his love of art after his father bought him his first guitar on his 19th birthday. Ruben suffered from insomnia, and that guitar kept him company during those restless nights. He would daydream about starting a band, and once he was able to play a few chords, he did. Alongside his brother Cody, Ruben co-founded the New Zealand punk outfit, the Mint Chicks. They released 3 albums during the 2000s and saw a great deal of success. Tension between members was constant, and eventually pushed Ruben to move on and away from a music career. It felt childish, and Ruben wanted to get serious and get a day job. He moved to Portland, Oregon to begin his new life as an illustrator. Finally, in a good frame of mind, Ruben felt in control of his life. But like most musicians, that itch to create never really goes away. Equipped with a cheap microphone, his guitars, a 15-watt guitar amp, and some old tape recorders, Ruben started recording sounds and plucking strings after work. He crafted a single he was proud of and posted the track on his Bandcamp page, with just the title, Funny Friends. No name attributing who it was by, only a contact email that was linked to the account. Within 3 days, blogs started hunting for this artist. Within weeks, labels were bidding to sign this new unknown, begging to hear more of this sound. Ruben eventually claimed the track as Unknown Mortal Orchestra, signing with Fat Possum Records to give us his self-titled debut. Ruben wanted to capture that feeling of going through his father's record collection, discovering something completely new, being weirded out and excited at the same time. The cover art complements that. It was Ruben's desktop wallpaper during the recording of the album. The futuristic-looking building in the photo is real. The now abandoned Yugoslavian monument is one of the many that were built to commemorate World War II sites. Ruben thought it matched the music, seeing it as something from the past built for the future. Weaving together psychedelic rock riffs with pop choruses, perfecting funk-driven bass lines with breakbeat drum rhythms, Ruben recorded everything to tape, giving it the group's distinct lo-fi sound. It's warm, bright, and melodic all the way through. Having a family really inspired some cheerfulness and lighter themes into the album too. It was a mellow time in Ruben's life, and you hear that in the music. Soon came time to tour the album. With friends Jake and Julian, UMO hit the road with the mindset of saying yes to everything and seeing what would happen. They lived a rock and roll lifestyle. Sex, drugs, playing shows became routine. Soon, Ruben was experiencing life in a dreamlike state, worried over his sanity and his health. But he drew from those experiences, knowing he might be able to crystallize those feelings and thoughts into future songs. He returned home to Portland a shell of the person he was upon leaving. He was depressed, his insomnia had returned, and he needed time in adjusting to being back home, if not for himself, then for his family. Ruben brought the weight of his situation down to his basement to begin recording album 2. Ruben liked the idea of having a studio in his basement. Most New Zealand homes don't have basements, so when Ruben moved to Portland, it became a solitary space from the world. It's where he'd spend most of his nights dreaming up as many tunes as he could before the sun came up. Ruben began transforming the last year's emotional whirlwind into song. Isolation can't put a gun in your hand, it can't put a gun. That's the very first lyric from the album. The track focuses on his sleepless nights thinking of his depression and sadness. The cover art features Janet Farrar, a high priestess of a witch's coven in Ireland. It was Rubin's phone wallpaper for a long time leading up to the album's recording. To Rubin, the image symbolized a form of feminine power, the yin of yin and yang, the female form of the universe associated with darkness and the moon, which perfectly aligns with many of the album's tracks. Swim and Sleep has Rubin wishing he could just sleep. One at a Time is about Rubin's feelings of loneliness at night. And Faded in the Morning is a jam about being tired from being up all night. But it's all deeply contrasted by the melodic grooves and blues rock riffs. The recording process helped calibrate Rubin before leaving for yet another tour. But this time, he pledged to push the trouble aside and focus on his loved ones. But he'd soon learn that love, too, can be a mother. The album focuses on relationships, and one in particular, the one between him and his wife, and the woman they invited into their home. Let me explain. This young woman caught Rubin's attention at a club on a night off of touring while in Japan. Rubin's never disclosed her name, so we'll just call her May. The two introduced themselves and had an immediate connection, exchanging contact info to keep in touch with each other. Later that year, May showed up to a UMO show in Australia with her female partner. Rubin now thought what they had was just platonic and didn't think his wife Jenny would feel threatened if him and May continued to talk. He introduced his wife to May, and it wasn't long before his wife started swapping love letters with May. Rubin found what he had started between the two women to be pretty terrifying, but he felt what was happening was fate. He had wanted to focus on love, and this felt like what he was supposed to be doing. If it ended his marriage, then his next album would be what documents it. There were a million ways for this to go wrong and drastically change his life, but there was no way this could go wrong for Rubin artistically. May moved in with Rubin and his family in the summer of 2014. The three of them found themselves in a polyamorous relationship. Rubin was experiencing his two most serious relationships at once. He headed down to his basement studio to make sense of his situation. May's visa eventually expired and she had to leave. Rubin's marriage survived the ordeal, and the multi-love relationship is well documented throughout the album. We were one, then become three. May even makes a contribution in the cover. It was a photo she had taken of Rubin's basement studio. After Multi-Love, Rubin decided to share less of his personal life. Again, he doesn't want you to think his music is about his life, saying, "It kind of steals the record away from people, in a way, when I tell them too much about the details of my life." Previous albums had Rubin choosing cover art from photos he had just so happened to be obsessed with during the recording of the album. For his next album, Rubin would ask photographer Neil Krug to create a cover before recording or writing anything. Rubin would then make the album to match the cover, ultimately delivering Sex and Food. This new album brings the most soul and funk we've heard from the group. It's definitely their softest and most relaxed record yet, which makes me wonder what necessary evils, if any, did Rubin put himself through for this new album? Parts of it were recorded in Seoul, Reykjavik, Hanoi, Mexico City, New Zealand, and of course, his basement studio in Portland. Each destination possibly adding some sort of personality to the record. And while lyrics point to political and social commentaries, Rubin denies that it's a political record. He wants this album to mean whatever you want it to make it your own. Thanks for watching, ladies and gents. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like rating, subscribe to learn more about the music you love, and thank you to my amazing patrons over at patreon.com/middle8 who support the channel and help me bring you more videos like these. For as low as $1, you'll get your name in the credits and help free up more of my time to make content. I've also got a few new rewards for patrons, so head over to the first link in the description to check them out. Thanks again, and tell me, what's your favorite Unknown Mortal Orchestra album? Let me know in the comments below, and keep listening.